By 1999, Tower Records wasn't just a store, it was a cultural landmark. That year alone, the chain posted $1 billion in annual revenue and operated nearly 200 stores worldwide. Its neon signs and midnight CD releases were iconic to anyone who loved music. Yet within a decade, every Tower Records store in the United States was gone. How did a company that invented the music superstore lose everything while other retailers survived? Did file-sharing platforms like Napster and iTunes strike the fatal blow? Or was the rot coming from within? In today's story, we'll chart the rise, peak, and catastrophic fall of Tower Records and explore what its disappearance teaches us about innovation, debt, and nostalgia. Tower Records began in 1960, when a 24-year-old music lover named Russ Solomon opened a small record section inside his father's Tower drugstore in Sacramento, California. Solomon's fledgling shop offered records at a time when most retailers treated music as an afterthought, and he named the business after the adjacent Tower Theater. By 1968, the little record shop had grown enough to open a store in San Francisco, and by 1971, Solomon built a purpose-designed flagship on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood that would become a pilgrimage site for rock fans. Solomon's philosophy was simple, yet revolutionary. Stock every album, keep the store open late, blast the latest hits on huge speakers, and create a space where musicians and fans could hang out. In 1979, Tower began operations in Japan, and the first international store opened in Sapporo, Japan in 1980, foreshadowing a global expansion that eventually stretched from London to Buenos Aires to Israel. By 1976, Tower opened Tower Books, Posters and Plants next to its Sacramento store to diversify beyond records. In 1983, the company started publishing Pulse magazine, a glossy monthly filled with interviews and reviews that doubled as an in-store advertising tool. The timing couldn't have been better. Compact discs arrived in 1983, and Tower was among the first retailers in the United States to carry them. The chain positioned itself as the place to find a new technology before anyone else. As the home video market exploded in the 1980s, Tower expanded into VHS rentals and later DVDs and video games. In 1995, Tower launched Tower.com, making it one of the earliest retailers to sell music online. At a time when competitors like Sam Goody and Musicland stuck to malls, Tower embraced big storefronts in hip neighborhoods, staying open until midnight and letting customers listen to CDs at scan and listen stations. By the mid-1990s, Tower Records had become synonymous with music discovery. Its Sunset Strip megastore boasted 25,000 square feet of vinyl and CDs and hosted midnight release parties with artists like Bruce Springsteen and Nirvana, stores in New York's Greenwich Village, Tokyo's Shibuya, and San Francisco's Columbus Avenue became cultural hubs. Tower's marketing promised an unparalleled selection. Deep catalogs of jazz, classical and world music sat alongside mainstream hits. The numbers were staggering. By 1998, Tower operated roughly 200 stores across 21 US states and numerous franchises internationally. Annual revenue topped $1 billion, while its deep catalog model required inventories of up to 125,000 titles per store. The chain borrowed $110 million in 1998 to fund this aggressive expansion. Tower built midnight release culture into the music business. Lines snaked down the block as fans waited for new albums from U2 or Tupac. Ads boasted, "No music, no life," and many stores became landmarks in their own right. In 1983, Tower moved into New York City, a bold step because record stores were still regional. That year, compact discs debuted in the United States. Tower stocked them early, bolstering its cutting-edge reputation. Tower's community vibe was equally influential. Each store was staffed by music enthusiasts who played their favorite artists over the loudspeakers and curated in-store playlists. Staff wore eccentric attire, and often doubled as local DJs or musicians. The company hosted free concerts, celebrity signings, and magazine release events. By 1999, Tower reported $1 billion in revenue and looked unstoppable. But while customers happily lost hours browsing racks, trouble brewed behind the scenes. Here's the twist. Tower's soaring success masked structural weaknesses that would soon prove fatal. By the late 1990s, the company was saddled with heavy debt from its expansion spree, estimated between $80 million and $100 million by early 2004. Its have everything in stock philosophy locked up millions of dollars in inventory, and the $110 million loan taken in 1998 came with high interest costs. In 1999, Tower's finances flipped. After generating around $1 billion, the company lost $8.8 million 3 years later. Competition intensified. Big box retailers like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy sold hit albums at loss leader prices, siphoning off mainstream shoppers. Meanwhile, internet-based music sites such as Apple's iTunes and Amazon's CD store dented Tower's bottom line. By 2006, Tower's sales were down 10% in 1 year. Tower launched a digital download service in 2006, offering 1.2 million tracks at 99 cents each. But the Windows Media format meant songs couldn't play on iPods, the dominant MP3 player. As Beta News noted, Tower hoped to bundle CD purchases with digital downloads, yet Windows-based services accounted for less than a fifth of online music sales. Internally, Tower struggled with mismanagement and a bloated corporate hierarchy. Forbes criticized the company for maintaining shell stores instead of focusing on its profitable outlets, tying up capital in leases and inventory rather than investing in staff or digital innovation. Employees were treated as replaceable and paid little, leading to high turnover and eroding the knowledgeable service that once set Tower apart. A 2002 settlement over CD price fixing forced Tower and several rivals to pay a $3 million fine, further tarnishing its reputation. The first bankruptcy arrived in February 2004. Tower filed a pre-packaged Chapter 11, citing its heavy debt and competition from discounters and internet piracy. MTS Inc., the privately held parent company, sought to restructure the chain. Reports estimated Tower owed between $80 and $100 million, with assets just over $100 million. Despite shedding some stores, Tower remained burdened by debt and strict terms from lenders. A short-lived recovery followed, but the digital tide overwhelmed Tower's analog business. On the 20th of August 2006, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, again, this time to facilitate a sale. At the time, Tower operated 89 US stores, all put up for sale. Just weeks later, Great American Group won the auction and began liquidation. By October 2006, going out of business sales began in every store, and the final US Tower Records location closed on December 22, 2006. The once glorious empire was reduced to a handful of independent franchises abroad. Even though Tower Records vanished from city streets, its legacy endures in surprising ways. The brand's blue and yellow logo remains one of the most recognizable in music retail. Former employees and musicians reminisce about endless nights spent flipping through racks and discovering new artists. Filmmaker Colin Hanks captured this nostalgia in his 2015 documentary All Things Must Pass, which features interviews with Bruce Springsteen, Dave Grohl, and Elton John, recalling Tower's cultural impact. In Japan, Tower Records survived as a separate company and continues to operate more than 80 stores nationwide. In 2020, amid the vinyl resurgence, the Tower Records brand was revived as an online store. 2 years later, it opened Tower Labs in Brooklyn, a creative space for artists and fans. Nostalgia tours even offer vintage airline-style trips themed around Tower Records memorabilia. What lessons can we draw from Tower's disappearance? First, debt is not a growth strategy. Borrowing $110 million to build dozens of stores left Tower exposed when sales slowed. Second, adaptation is crucial. Tower clung to physical retail and launched a digital store far too late, using a format incompatible with the iPod, an icon of its time. Third, culture matters. The knowledgeable staff and community vibe that defined Tower eroded when management treated employees as expendable. As one expert noted, the same stores that once sold $1 billion of music could not survive a world where songs cost 99 cents and fit in your pocket. Did you ever spend hours wandering the aisles of Tower Records? Did you queue up for a midnight release? Or discover a favorite band under their neon lights? Share your memories in the comments below. And if this story brought back a flood of nostalgia, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Relic Rewinds. Each week we explore the brands, technologies, and cultural touchstones that defined an era and ask, what can we learn from their rise and fall? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.